Hello guys, it is Gate of Theories here, and a couple of hours ago the brand new Frozen 2 trailer was released, and there is loads in this trailer, and especially this one scene with these tall Stonehenge rocks. So today we're going to be analysing this trailer and what on earth these rocks are for. But before we go any further, just make sure you've clicked that red subscribe button down below and have your notifications on. Now, this trailer revealed a lot about what the plot of Frozen is going to be about, just from what the head of the trolls tells Anna and the rest of the gang. And at the end of the trailer, we see these rocks where they go to, and it looks like they found their destination. Now, by finding these rocks in real life, we can probably tell where on earth Elsa and the others are all heading to. And from the trailer, we can tell why on earth they're heading there. So I did a bit of research into where on earth these rocks are. Now, we know from the first movie that Frozen is definitely set in Norway, and people have looked at the place of Arendelle and have made predictions about where on earth in Norway they think it is. And people came to the conclusion that Frozen is exactly set in the city Bergen in Norway. So to find out where on earth these rocks are, I decided to search on Google Norwegian Stonehenge, and it came up with a place called Solspeilet. Now, I'm not really sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, so if any of you guys know how on earth to pronounce this name, please let me know in the field section down below. And then I thought that these rocks sort of look like the ones that we've seen in Frozen, so this is perfect, and they are located exactly in Stavanger, which is south of Bergen, which we just said the place where Arendelle is set. Except from when I was watching the trailer again, I heard the head of the trolls say this.
You must find the truth. Go north, across the enchanted lands, and into the unknown.
And like I said before, this Stonehenge place in Norway is south of Bergen, and yet Elsa and the others are travelling up north. So I had to do a bit more research about where on earth this Stonehenge could be. I mean, surely it shouldn't be that hard to find where this Stonehenge place is. I mean, there has been another Disney movie where there's been Stonehenge before. Anyone? Nah, I'm just kidding. Frozen 2 is not set in the same place where Brave is set in Scotland. But another thing that the troll said was that this place is enchanted and unknown. So what we do know is that it is north of Bergen, except from it might just be like a really unknown place, because I have been searching and searching for where on earth this circle of stones are, and they all seem to be south of Bergen and never north of Bergen in Norway. So it must just be a really, well, unknown place. In other words, a place that Disney has just created for themselves. But if we go back to these rocks, we can see they are carved with the same symbols that have been appearing in the teaser trailer and the teaser poster, which of course are these weird diamond symbol things. And we actually see in this newest trailer Elsa freeze something, and lots of these things appear. And of course, in the teaser trailer, we saw them outside of Anna's window, and we can see them in the actual logo of Frozen 2. And looking at the stones from the trailer, we can sort of see two of the carvings on two of the stones. The one furthest on the left and the one furthest on the right. The other two are sort of clouded by all the smoke that's just appearing. And there seems to be something behind the smoke because it's glowing more. So obviously that must be the big reveal. And if we go to the one furthest on the left, which is of course the clearest one to see, we can see it looks very similar to the one on the bottom right of the teaser poster, and it literally basically looks like the exact same symbol. And luckily, the famous Frozen theorist Ben Carlin has already went and looked at all of these symbols and what their meanings are, and he said this symbol means...
Moving now to the bottom right, again, none of the runes have any dots, but if you connect all of the dots together, you get a whole arrow, or a Tawaz. And just let me know if any of this sounds familiar to you. Tawaz is the rune of the balance and justice ruled from a higher rationality. The rune of sacrifice of the individual individual self for well-being of the whole society. Yeah, that's basically Anna to a T.
And if we go to the stone on the right, the carving is sort of faded and it's kind of hard to see, but you can just make it out that it has a dot with a line underneath, which means that it relates to the top right rune in the Frozen logo. And Ben Carlin said that that rune meant...
So that leaves us with just the top right rune, which if you rotate just a little bit, very closely resembles the Thurziaz rune, which literally translates to giants. It turns out that giants actually have a tremendous role in Norwegian culture, largely, get it, because they're giants, as huge rocks. And it was said that these giants would turn to stone if ever exposed to sunlight.
Now, the other two carvings that would be on the two middle stones would of course be the other two runes on the Frozen logo, except from considering what Ben Carlin just said about how these giants would turn to stones when there is no sunlight, and considering that they are in a place surrounded by stones with no sunlight. Now, it's a very far stretch, but the chances of these things being like maybe giants or something could be kind of possible, considering that this place is literally filled with magic. I mean, this is the place where Elsa was literally given her powers or inherited her powers from a person who was from here, considering from what the troll said before. And not to mention what Ben Carlin says later in his video, saying...
Which brings us back full circle to the teaser poster, which shows us the Frozen logo in an entirely new way. It is now literally half stone.
But giants turning into stones aside, if we take into account that the middle two stones are in fact the other runes from this logo, then we can take into account that on one carving on one of the stones we have a picture of a diamond, which literally means the transformation into higher states of being can occur, and the other stone would have a carving of a symbol that means ice. And if we take into account of what the troll said to Elsa and the others before, saying that they need to travel to a place where Elsa can find out more about her powers. And this, of course, is the place where she would have got her powers. And from knowing these four carvings, we can tell just what a sort of place this is. From the first carving, which is a diamond, we can tell that this place transforms people. From the second carving, we can tell this place transforms people with ice powers. Getting anywhere to do with Elsa, anyone? And from the third carving, we can tell that the third one is, of course, about the giants. And the giants, as we said before, might be some type of rock formation, might come out and reveal themselves to Elsa and the others. And they are the people who would, of course, give this transformation to whoever they needed to give it to. And then the final one, which is about the rune of sacrifice of the individual self for well-being of the whole society, suggesting finally, once you've gone through the entire transformation of getting ice powers from the giant, then you will have to go through a huge sacrifice for the well-being of the others. And this is, of course, what Anna does in the first movie. So finally, back to the whole trailer and what on earth the plot of Frozen 2 is going to be about. I think this one tiny scene of these rocks really shows what the entire movie is going to be about. It's going to be about Elsa and the others needing to go and find out where on earth she got these powers from, and of course we've just discussed where and how she got her powers. And then at this place, she will discover something about her powers that she has never known before. And this might affect Elsa and the rest of the others. Maybe even the others might get powers themselves. Who knows? The whole plot of Frozen 2 is their journey to this place. And then I bet you at this place, they will find something that they do not want to find, because it's Disney. And speaking of other characters getting powers, we made a video on Frozen 2 years and years ago, all the way back in 2017. In fact, it was the first video that we made in 2017, all about who we think the villain of Frozen 2 is going to be about, and whether Anna might actually get fire powers, because, you know, opposite of ice powers. She's sort of the opposite of Elsa. So if you haven't seen that video, then make sure that you go and check it out. I will leave a card to it up there, or you can go and click the link down below in the description. So guys, that is what we think Frozen 2 is going to be about, and why on earth these 4 rocks are so important. If you did enjoy this video, then please smash that like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, with notifications on. Tell us in the field section down below if you think we are right, if you think where these rocks are is the place where Elsa got her powers, and that there might be a chance that other characters might be able to get powers from this exact place. Make sure you leave your thoughts down below in the field section, and while you're down there, why don't you tell us if you're excited for Frozen 2, because us here at Gate of Theories are so excited for Frozen 2, and we cannot wait for it. We've literally been making videos about it for 3 years. I mean, Who Was the Villain of Frozen 2 released way back at the beginning of 2017. And also, if you haven't seen Super Carlin Brothers videos on what on earth the meanings of the runes are, then I highly recommend that you go and check it out, because it is a really interesting and brilliant video all about what Frozen 2 is going to be about and what these symbols mean, and in a lot more detail than what has been shown on this video. So if you want to go and check that out, then there will be a link to it down below in the description. So anyway, we've been here on Gate of Theories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.